So at this point, we are mere days away from the Logan Paul and Dillon Danis boxing match, and there has been a lot of drama surrounding this situation from the start. Of course, with Dillon and Logan's wife and his persistent posting of her former lovers. He had some forbidden piece of media apparently, which now has Logan going around flexing a lawsuit, while also simultaneously trying to use the cop-out that since it's not technically him suing Dillon, that he's still following these unwritten rules of boxing. Of course, legit fighters have stepped in to say that it's a bad look for Logan, and that this is just not something to do over boxing beef and boxing promotion, and that if he wants to get Dillon back, he should turn him into minced meat in the boxing ring. But instead, he tries to act hard with his lawyers while keeping his comments turned off. People are also accusing Logan of being on the juice. We have Crypto Zoo scam updates, and you even got this clown comparing himself to the all-time great Muhammad Ali. And we are going to be covering all of that and more in today's video. First, I wanted to show you this very short clip from the face-off where people said that Logan had gone too far.
Your life's gone downhill ever since you got kicked out of Marcelo's gym.
Oh, stop.
I get it.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I get it.
You know a little bit.
You turned to alcohol, tried to drown everything out.
Yeah.
Your
I
dad
thought you wanted to do
it. You
Yeah,
lost
he
two
did.
friends.
Talk about that and see what happens.
I am.
You
Try to
say
drown
you're trying to say
everything
you're
out.
not a scumbag and you're going to talk about my dad passing?
I empathize with you, Dillon, because for the first time in a while, you're getting a sense of validation that you have not gotten.
I always...
So after this clip came out and went viral, you had a lot of people saying that Logan Paul went too far here, bringing up the death of Dillon Danis' father. And just off the bat, I want to know, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, obviously Dillon has been taking a lot of shots at Logan's wife, but a lot of the stuff that he's posted has really just been readily available public images of her. Like, to bring up someone who is deceased, and then Logan was also calling his mom a pay-for-play woman. I guess I'm just saying Logan has also taken some pretty low blows, and now he's also suing Dillon and trying to bankrupt him during this whole process. Now, in regards to that face-off, I did find this comment from Dillon very interesting, where during one of his recent interviews, he discussed the mind state of Logan Paul, and how he might be on some other stuff.
I come into the room, and this motherfucker's like, out. Like, his eyes are like, Logan.
Okay.
Like, he's ready to go. You know how he is. He's a performer. The bottle, the color of the bottle, the color wasn't the prime. He had vodka in the bottle. So he was just ready to go. So I just got in there. You know how it is. You wake up, I get in there, and I had an idiot yelling at me. He's doing this whole WWE performance. So it took me a little bit to get going.
I mean, I won't lie to you guys. This man's trolling is just on a whole nother level, coming through with the Leo DiCaprio paid for it hat. I've said it before, pretty much every piece of content you see from Logan Paul does come off as a little bit robotic, a little bit like he practices a lot of his lines, a lot of his performance in the mirror beforehand. And during that face-off, his eyes did seem to be about that big. And despite the lawsuit, Dillon has somewhat been continuing to do his thing on Twitter when it comes to the mocking of Logan's wife. And I think when this whole fight was announced and the promotion really started to come into play, a lot of people like myself didn't even really know who Dillon Danis was. You might have heard his name in passing. And so for me, I thought this guy was just kind of the average troll. But now I've watched some of his recent interviews, and he has dove a little bit deeper about his past and how hard his life has been at times.
I blew everything out besides my ACL twice. The first surgery failed, and then I had to get it done again in the same year. So they said it was like being in 2 car accidents within a year.
What did that do to you, both physically and mentally?
Yep. Yeah. Not bad, because you're used to training and being the man, and then you're stuck in a brace and not being able to wipe your own ass. You don't know if you're ever going to be the same again. You don't know if you're ever going to get the same opportunities.
And also in the Flagrant 2 interview he did with Andrew Scholes, he did dive a little bit deeper into this rock bottom dark place he had reached at some point, a couple years back. After suffering these various injuries, losing his father, it seemed like he had actually kind of lost himself in the process. And here's where Logan's nonsense really starts to come into play. This is the clip I was talking about where he pretty much compares himself to Muhammad Ali.
In the past 3 years, I went 8 rounds with the best boxer on the planet. Soared off the top rope in front of 50,000 people. Started a successful business from scratch. And I've been training the entire time.
It's funny how all of those things are like half-truths besides the WWE.
And I promise, on October 14th, I'm gonna knock this bitch ass out.
Life is war, baby. Life is war.
I have been counted out for way too long, and I'm ready to show y'all just how great I am.
And let's be honest here, absolutely nobody is calling him out. I believe in this fight, he is like a very heavy favorite. And I don't know, just everything this guy does just comes off as very inauthentic to me. And so here's where we get into all the drama with the lawsuit. For those of you guys that don't remember, essentially what's going on is that Logan's wife is now suing Dillon Danis over these pictures that he's been posting onto Twitter. Obviously, they're trying to run up his lawyer fees. I believe they're trying to rack up like some felonies. And honestly, all just seems like a major overreaction to like some boxing promotion. Because let's be honest, Dillon's really been the only one promoting this fight. Like, if it wasn't for his insistent promotion, I don't think anyone would give a shit that they're fighting. I mean, Logan's posting these little mini documentary statements, and he doesn't even have the balls to have the comments turned on. So it's like, where's the discussion actually gonna happen if it wasn't around Dillon's Twitter page? Either way, Logan says here the excuses are already loading.
So if you're being sued up the ass, are you guys still gonna fight?
Yeah, we're supposed to, yeah, but like, what's the point in this? Like, I'm getting another lawsuit every single day. I have to go to the gym. I got guys waiting at the gym trying to serve me papers. I can't go to the gym. Now they docked my apartment.
And it's just funny because Logan thinks this is such a flex. He says, choose wisely, Dillon. Pull out and pay Logan $100K, ruin reputation forever, lose in federal court, and declare bankruptcy. Or you can fight and get KO'd by Logan, suffer major embarrassment, make some money, lose it all in federal court. Like, no one thinks that you draining another person's bank account who agreed to fight you is badass. Especially when you allegedly still owe a lot of people from your various scam allegations. And grow some balls and turn the comments on, okay? Only people who he follows can reply, and you only have one guy speaking that real stuff saying, here's the green pill, drop the charges, fight like men, collect the bag, and move on with life. And at one point it was even rumored that Dillon was going to drop out of this fight saying, I'm over this shit, peace. And I do gotta say, that's one thing that in this situation I feel like Dillon cannot do. Like, if it comes down to it and he doesn't actually end up fighting, it's gonna be like all the talk was true of him being all bark and no bite, and all of this insistent trolling and promotion would really have been for nothing. Around that same time, he also went on to say, if someone said something about your fiancé, would you rather have them jailed by law or be allowed to punch that person for 18 minutes? Give your honest answer. To which Logan replies the meme of that little Mexican girl saying, why not both? And see, this is why Logan will not turn the comments on, because this guy Glenn comes in and says, why not both, and you pay the people back for CryptoZoo. Like, at this point, Logan is notorious for blocking people for even mentioning CryptoZoo. Like, for someone who tries to act so hard in these little clips he posts, he has to be one of the softest people when it comes to criticism I've ever seen. Like, it is beyond clear he wants nothing but yes men around him at all times, even in his Twitter comments. And I want you guys out there to remain fresher than Logan, and that's why I'm teaming up with Scentbird as the sponsor of today's video. I gotta be honest with you guys, for a long time I was a one cologne man. It just seemed like too large of an investment for me to spend hundreds of dollars on something I might not even end up liking. But after years of smelling the same when I was stepping out, Scentbird is helping me change it up. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription that lets you choose a new designer or indie fragrance to try every single month. So far I've tried Coconut and Sandalwood by Off Court, Versace Eros, and my personal favorite, Cross River Gorilla by Sanctuary, which makes me feel like I'm in a beautiful rainforest. There are hundreds of colognes you can try out on their website, from the most popular on the market to some hidden gems. The process could not be more simple. You go over and pick out the exact scent you want, they ship you your premium scent right to your door, and you get to enjoy your fragrance for that month. Though in my personal experience, the vial actually lasted a lot longer than that. And the best part is, when you use my code JAMARI at checkout, you will receive 55% off your first month, making your first purchase only a little over $7, available in both America and Canada. So to me, it's really a no-brainer if you're wanting to try one of these colognes before spending the full $200 to $500 that some brands cost. Once again, that is code JAMARI for 55% off your first month with Scentbird. Thank you once again to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. And here's where I was talking about people who are affiliated with the fight game speaking up about this lawsuit that Logan has levied against Dillon.
I like the Pauls. Yeah, that's a perfectly pretty girl. She's not my type. I'm into boobs. I'm into ass. I'm not into that. She's saying that her reputation was her. I don't know her name. I know what she looks like half naked. I know a whole bunch of dudes' names that she's been with. I don't know her name. There wasn't a reputation to damage.
Facts.
That's within her head. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but the most famous thing about her is that she's engaged to Logan Paul. What is this lawsuit about?
Like, absolutely no one knew about this rock star model wife of his. I mean, she might as well have been a video vixen. And she's smart because, let's be honest, as she is aging out of her profession, she grabbed onto Logan Paul with her claws, and really sunk them in there, okay? She got the ring. And now he's running around acting like he was with, like, Tom Brady's ex-wife, who was actually, like, making more money than Tom. Known internationally. Like, no, nobody knew this woman. And here we have Anthony Joshua talking about the lawsuit.
Has Dillon Danis gone a bit too far? Family insults on Twitter?
Do you know what, I'll be real. In this game of boxing, there are no rules. And the internet is undefeated. All your information is out there at the end of the day. What you put out there, you know, it will always come back around full circle. So unfortunately, they're using this as a war tactic. And you're at war. So there are no low blows. Anything's acceptable in the art of war.
And I think that's the right way to look at it. I mean, Logan can clap back, Logan can talk shit, but this whole flexing the lawsuit thing just comes off as so weak. Now, Ben Asker might have had the best comment about this whole situation.
It doesn't matter how hot she is. You're going to end up suing somebody or fighting them because you're insecure about the past. If it wasn't a big deal, you wouldn't make a big deal about it. You're suing someone. That was my whole point. Find a woman in your life that you can be proud to be married to. That's that simple. You're welcome for all the life advice.
And it's absolutely true. Like, if it didn't actually bother Logan, this whole lawsuit wouldn't be coming into play. I mean, now he's been trying to say, like, oh, it's her lawsuit, it's her thing, and I, defend her right to do that. But no, we all know that Logan is just like a narcissist, and his ego got put into check. Something that represents him, something that he loves, got kind of exposed. And this clip right here exemplifies exactly what I mean when I say that he's flexing this whole lawsuit. Like, this guy thinks he's doing God's work.
I think Dillon Danis has about $60,000 to his name, and that's being generous. Now, because of the lawsuit, he has to fight you to make the money. Otherwise, he's going to declare bankruptcy.
But even then, it doesn't end. You put liens on every paycheck he gets for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Y'all trying to garnish his wages? Damn.
I mean, you can see even the third co-host there is like, man, that is a bitch-ass move. Like, at the end of the day, this guy went out on a limb and agreed to fight Logan, and now that, he doesn't like the way he decided to promote the fight, he's essentially saying, well, now I'm gonna ruin your entire life, get a little piece of every single check that you earn from here. Like, it really wasn't that serious. It's just some internet trolling, and now you want to, like, send him to jail. You want to drain his whole bank account, ruin any future prospects he has of making money. And when Brendan Schaub, of all people, is stepping in as the voice of reason, you must be making some serious mistakes. So Brendan says in reply to the video I just showed you guys, "This bums me out. First rule of Fight Club, don't sue another fighter, build in the fight." So it does seem to me like the whole fight world kind of unanimously agrees that this is just not a cool move from Logan. And this was Logan's response to Brendan Schaub, where he says, "It bums me out that 3 weeks ago I DM'd you Nina's lawsuit details because of your ignorance. And your response was, oh Jesus, did not know that, not cool. Then you come on here talking about Fight Club rules like you're the referee. Like, no, he's just saying that you're acting like a bitch." He says this twisted promotion has gone far beyond the fight game, and you know that. I mean, not really, dude. He's posting pictures from Google. This is where he says, plus I'm not the one suing him. He picked a fight with an innocent woman who is standing up for herself the only way she can, by holding a legally accountable for breaking the law. Any person who doesn't understand that is a delusional. Her lawsuit is her choice, and I fully support her. Like, Logan, give it a rest. We all know you're the one behind this lawsuit. We all know you're the one behind closed doors just breaking down. I found this comment from Dillon about Logan to be very interesting.
I think that he likes yes men around him. If you don't follow his rules and say he's the best, I think he cuts you out of his crew. His friend said he believed in Jesus and he kicked him out of his crew. And I just think that he's full of himself. There's not one person who's ever met me that said I'm a bad person, but the way he treats his family, the way he treats his brother, you just tell that he's not a good guy.
And it's just interesting because he brings up this topic of Logan kicking George off his podcast and out of his life. We all know that him and George had at the very least been having some DMs back and forth. He was apparently going to go on to George's new talk show. And it really does make me think that behind the scenes, George has been kind of spilling the beans about Logan. and talking about how much of a monster he can really be to his apparent friends and family. And this clip right here, to me, only further shows that that is likely the truth.
I don't know him personally, but I heard that whoever's around him, if they don't agree with what he does, he agrees on, he kicks them out of their group and makes them sign NDAs where they can't talk about things. And so he's just an egotistical maniac, and he can't handle that. I'm making a narrative.
And I think it's very true. Like, him turning off the comments is very telling. I think that when he cannot control the narrative surrounding his name, it just breaks his brain, it breaks his ego. Because obviously after what happened in Japan, I think everyone else kind of had more control over the way the general public felt about him. And he had regained a lot of that power back. He had regained a lot of that trust. I think a lot of people had started to see him in a different light over the last couple of years. And I think recently with the CryptoZoo stuff, with all the insistent trolling on Twitter, it's like his whole reputation just went all the way back down, maybe even further than it was after that whole incident occurred. Now here's where things get really crazy, as multiple people accuse Logan of being on the juice.
Whatever compounds Logan is taking, his body is having a really hard time hiding it. His traps are separated from his neck. His triceps look constantly flexed as if he just got done milking a cow. His biceps look so grainy and full, it makes no sense. And boxing, in and of itself, is not conducive to building new muscle mass.
Very true. That man Filion always coming through with his third eye of truth. And here's Dillon's explanation as to why he thinks that Logan Paul is on that juice.
Do you know why the guys in the UFC were open? There was a set time, you had to take a piss test. Yeah. And everybody knows you can beat that. Yeah. You know that. Yeah. So the reason you saw them VADA are so effective is because during camp, they do random times. So you don't know when it's coming. So that's why it's hard to beat those tests. And you still can, but it's very hard. Right? Yeah. So Logan now that I brought it up, wants to do testing. And he wants to do a set date before the fight. Okay? So he did the cycle, he did whatever, and now he's going to try to take a piss test and clear it and be like, oh, I'm clean. That doesn't count. Okay? It doesn't count. With the money that he has, you can have a doctor clean your system in over 24 hours. So him doing this is another scam that he does. He's a bullshit artist. He just lies. Everybody knows he's on juice. And I don't even care about the steroids thing. It's just like, what are we doing here? He has every advantage. He gets to pick the reps. He gets to pick the judge. It's like, come on.
So he's essentially saying there that Logan knows when the pop quiz is coming, and that there are methods that professional athletes in every single sport use to pass these type of tests time and time again, okay? These people are working with the most advanced doctors, the most advanced trainers in the entire world, and those guys definitely know how to flush the system. I mean, is anyone actually gonna look at this man right here and say that there is no chance that he's on the gear? And it's going to be interesting to see if this whole CryptoZoo situation develops further. I don't know, I just have this feeling in the back of my mind that the CoffeeZilla arc with Logan Paul and this whole situation is really not over, and he might come with a bombshell right before the fight just to mess with Logan's mind. Logan Paul reportedly offered CryptoZoo victims only 5 to 10% of their losses. Meaning, let's say I shelled out $100,000 onto CryptoZoo. I'm just an idiot, right? Obviously, the project never worked. It was kind of like a false advertisement type of thing. And then he wants to come back and say, okay, well, out of your 100,000, I think I can give you like 5,000 shekels. I mean, he pushed and promoted this project like it was going to be the best thing since sliced bread.
I hit him with a right there, and I felt him drop a little bit. And Jake goes, he's hurt. So I said, this is it.
His head goes down immediately.
A little too far.
Dude, Floyd was never in danger during this fight.
So I said, this is it.
And I found this to be very strange, okay? To me, Logan Paul was essentially already setting up his excuses, like that time LeBron came out with the little cast.
What about the other wrist? What's going on there?
Broke it. Broke my wrist. So are you able to fight? Yeah, I'm able to fight for sure. When did this happen? A couple days ago in training.
How did it happen?
Just a punch. I landed a punch wrong and have some wrist problems. I broke my wrist in the past.
And then I don't know if his brain is just scattered or what, or, you know, he's doing things and then like 30 minutes later he's realizing like, oh, maybe this wasn't a good idea. So then he comes out with this comment.
I'll be honest, bro. I didn't break my wrist, all right? I didn't break my wrist.
Oh,
I know I lied. Because I'll tell you why, bro.
Content?
No, because I'll tell you why. What the? Because I'm not trying to scare Dillon away from this fight.
You're an attention whore.
In many ways.
I mean, the black guy is the only one speaking facts on this whole podcast.
Because you know that kid in high school that really didn't break his shit, but wore fake little
and the Nah, he's already making excuses, so I figured if I came out here and said I broke my wrist, he'd be like, oh. But now you just gave up the bit so fast.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, you should put it back on. Give me the wristband.
All I know is that this whole situation has just been a really bad look for Logan in general. I don't think he expected this much fire to come from Dillon's way, because I do think that they had been going back and forth for the last couple of years, and in general, at least, like, the public perception was always that Dillon was taking L after L. Personally, I'm hoping he takes the biggest W of all in the ring. I mean, for Logan, I think either way, win or loss, this has been like a net negative for him. And for Dillon, whether he wins or loses, I think it's like a huge net positive. Like, a lot of people have learned who he is, kind of what he's about, and he will definitely be able to sell another fight either way. But y'all let me know what you guys think about this whole situation down below, kind of the final update before the actual fight goes down. I would definitely be covering the post-fight, so y'all make sure you subscribe to my channel. And one last time, I do want to encourage you guys to go check out the sponsor of today's video, Scentbird. So y'all make sure you go check them out by clicking the link down below in the description box or even the pinned comment. It's been your boy Tan Superman, and I'm out. Peace!